Hi guys, I'm Sarah, and I'm going to be talking about an article called California Makes HIV Prevention Drugs Available Without a Prescription. So the article was published by the New York Times this past Wednesday, October 9th, and it talks about how pharmacists are now, through this new law, allowed to give out HIV prevention drugs to people without a doctor's prescription. The drugs I'll be talking about are pre-exposure and post-exposure prophylaxis, but I'm going to be referring to it as Truvada under the common name. And pretty much the new law is attempting to increase access to these drugs for people who might not have been able to access them before, and also to help fight the HIV and AIDS epidemic in the US. And so, just for context, Truvada has been the only HIV prevention drug on the market, but again, a lot of people haven't been able to access the drug because some people can only access the drug through primary care doctors. And so the bill that was just passed, it's called SB 159. It allows pharmacists to go through special training and provide 60-day supplies of Truvada to people. And then after these 60 days are up, then that's when people would need a prescription from a doctor. And so the drugs are actually supposed to be super effective, but a lot of people who are high risk haven't actually been able to take them because of this limited access. And then additionally, the new law would also require Medi-Cal to cover HIV prevention drugs obtained by these pharmacies, and at the same time, it would prohibit insurance companies from requiring prior authorizations to cover these drugs. So the policy question at hand is about whether or not this new law will actually be successful in increasing access to HIV prevention drugs. So there are multiple pros and cons to this. So by expanding the scope of care to pharmacists, the law does hope to get to people who are high risk to take these medications and prevent themselves from getting HIV, but at the same time, Truvada has actually been really expensive. The article says that someone could pay as much as $20,000 a year if they are paying full price. So again, like the cost of the drugs and then at the same time, like the stigma of using the drugs could lead to low rates of people who are high risk of using the drug. So I think that society should be thinking about how this new law could decrease the rates of HIV infection and how this new law could be applied to other states other than California in terms of combating this whole nationwide epidemic. I also think that society should, if they are advocates of the law, should be thinking about how to lower the cost of Truvada so that way people who are high risk and who might not be able to access the drug due to socioeconomic burden could again access this drug. So overall, I think that the cost is the main thing that people should be thinking about. In terms of stakeholders, one group of stakeholders who will definitely be impacted by this whole issue are the pharmacists themselves. So their scope of care will be expanded because of this bill. Because after they go through special training and all, they can provide these drugs without a doctor's prescription, and so they'll be able to see more patients and maybe make more money. But then on the flip side, the primary care doctors are also another stakeholder, and that due to this increased competition, they may lose patients, they may lose money, and their scope of practice may be limited due to pharmacists entering this field. So there are a lot of pros and cons to this bill being passed. So I think it'll be really interesting to see how everything plays out. So thanks, you guys.